Hello guys, it's Julia, and as you guys can see, I have another Toshiba Satellite C655. Now, this was one I showed back and looking back. This is actually the Celeron version of it, so I have three C655s, a first gen, a second gen, and a Celeron. I believe the first and second gen are i3s. And basically, this computer right here is the lower end model out of all of them. I actually used to have a C655D, but I parted it out and took stuff from it and got rid of it. But anywho, this one has a problem. This has a failing hard drive in it, which doesn't boot, which I'm going to actually power it on. You guys have seen this many times in videos. It will just boot to the recovery environment, essentially, every single time you boot it. It just dumps you in recovery. I don't know if it still will. It probably will. Of course, it's complaining about the CMOS. We're going to F1 to continue. So, it actually wants to launch Start Prepare. Let's just start Windows normally. It'll go to Startup Prepare anyway. Unless it's deciding to not go to Startup Repair, which is weird because every single time I've tried to boot this computer, it's always dumped itself into Startup Repair every time, or at least the recovery options. But basically, the hard drive is shot in this computer. Yep, there it goes. It's dumping me in the recovery environment. Like, something's clearly wrong. That it just dumps me. It doesn't even do a Startup Repair. It just dumps me in the recovery. And it'll also sit at a black screen with a cursor for a few minutes before it'll actually show anything. Which actually, I went into the recovery on Toshiba's, and it's normal to have a black screen as the background because it was on my second gen when I was factory resetting it, because there's the Toshiba recovery inside of the options. However, I'm not going to recover it just yet because this hard drive's failing. I'm going to demonstrate something in this video for you guys that is very helpful if you have a failing hard drive. So there's this Linux tool called ddrescue, and with ddrescue, it will try to rescue all of the data off of a failing hard drive and make an image out of it. Once I get said image, I can restore it to another hard drive and then have the files and potentially a working OS. And even if not, I can at least, try to do the recovery on a known good working drive. Because then once I'm able to do that, I can potentially get the OEM recovery back for this computer and have it. However, I'm still not 100% if the drive that's in this computer right now came from this computer, because I basically got a couple computers given to me in 2022, and the drive that's in here was actually in another Toshiba, but it was like a Windows XP era, and it would always keep booting up into Toshiba recovery and saying, oh, it's not meant for this machine or something. And I'm like, okay, yeah, this drive definitely didn't come from that machine at all, and I didn't know where it came from. But when I put it in this computer, it behaved differently. So I feel like because it let me try to start the recovery, it didn't complain, that it probably did come from this machine. So I'm going to see if I can rescue this drive to be able to do the recovery and maybe potentially get the computer booting for all we know. Maybe it will, but I did confirm, because I did, look at Crystal Disk Info a long time ago. The drive's failing really pretty bad, and that's probably why the OS no longer boots. It's corrupted. It can't boot into an OS anymore. It just dumps me straight into the recovery. I think I actually was able to view the files on the C drive, but it wouldn't boot. So it still works, but it's definitely on its way out. It shouldn't be this slow either. So I'm hoping that I am able to do ddrescue. If you have a failing drive, especially with important data, highly recommend using this tool, because it will keep trying and it will try to copy all of the data, or as much data as it can, off of that failing hard drive. So anyways, without further ado, I'm going to boot into that environment. And for us, we're going to use something called systemrescue, and we're going to boot into that. It does have ddrescue built in, and we're going to use that utility because I have a blank hard drive right there with nothing on it. Well, anyways, guys, you guys can see it's actually in the recovery right now. I thought I'd show this really quickly. I just waited the 5 minutes or whatever to get it to do this. Oh yeah, it'll sit here for a second as well. As you guys can see, the drive's definitely failing because it doesn't even detect the operating system. It will hang here and it'll never show an operating system at all. I don't even think I can click next. It's like not even letting me. Although it's gonna try to restore a system image, which I don't want. I might just turn this off, honestly, but you guys have seen this on previous videos, so this is what we're gonna do. You guys can see we have my thing plugged in to boot the ISO, and we have a hard drive plugged in, which if I turn this on, it will turn the hard drive on. So that's where we're gonna be saving it to. I believe it's F12, I think. Yeah, let's go to F12. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to specify the ISO. So let me do that really quickly. Yeah, I just remembered, I don't think this will work if I select CD, because I'm pretty sure that some computers don't like to use this. Yeah, it's not gonna work. I'm gonna have to grab my Ventoy for this, because some computers do not like this for some reason. So give me a moment. So back in the boot menu, let's do USB, because we want to boot my Ventoy, which does appear to work. I think it's on here. It might be an older version, but it doesn't really matter in this scenario because we're just going to, I think it's in Linux. Yeah, I have 2 system rescues. I don't know how recent this is compared to the one I had, but it doesn't really matter because it should get the job done. I have our other drive plugged in, and honestly, this is probably the best ISO to be able to do this. It also has a live environment too, so you can go to the live environment. Oh yeah, Linux is gonna really complain about failing hard drives. I know if you boot Linux and you have drives that are failing, it's gonna go berserk. So expect it to go berserk potentially when booting this. Like if you start seeing errors about drives, which is probably guaranteed to happen because Linux tends to not be happy about it, which is interesting. Like it's very picky. All right, it's finally doing stuff. It's taking a while, but I know right here it's probably gonna start potentially complaining, although maybe it won't. We'll just have to see. It's just booting normally right now, which is good. We don't want to get like a ton of errors. We do know there's a failing drive in here. Okay, didn't seem to complain. So as you guys can see, it says type start X to run the graphic environment. So I'm just gonna do that. You don't have to, but for simplicity of this, I'm going to. And that way we can, you know, see the drives and everything once we're in the environment. And also we need to figure out what drives like it corresponds to in Linux, because that's going to be very important. Okay, we're booted in and it actually didn't complain, which surprised me. So we got to get to a file manager. So if I click file system, I don't think our drives are actually mounted, which probably explains why it didn't complain. So I actually don't think we should mount it. We only should mount the drive, you know, that we're saving to. So I will be right back. I'm gonna set up a couple things, show you guys what I did, and then we're going to go from there. Okay, so I got the commands ready just to show you guys before I actually run it. So first I had to do an LSBLK to see the drive. So I see SDA is the drive in the computer, SDB is the external I have plugged in, SDC is my Ventoy, and the SDD is like the disk drive, I believe. So then I had to make a directory to mount the external hard drive, and I mounted it to that location, and then I had to CD into that directory, and now that I'm in there, I'm able to actually run the ddrescue command, because when you run the command, you have to be in the directory you want to save it, in which that's the hard drive right there. And obviously Windows made that system volume information folder. I also have it formatted as exFAT so that Linux would like it better, because I feel like NTFS might be a problem. So when I formatted it in Windows, I selected exFAT instead of NTFS, which should help because this is a Linux environment. So I'd rather not use a Windows file system in a Linux environment, although I believe it would work, but I'm not entirely sure. I'm not gonna actually like try it. So this is the command. It will back up everything it can to that image file. It also saves a log because I specified that too. and you do ddrescue-d-r3, and then the drive you want to rescue, in this case /dev/sda, and then the name of the image there. So I called it Toshiba backup.img. You can call it whatever you want, .img, it doesn't really matter. And then the Toshiba backup.log file. Hopefully this runs. I've actually not done this myself, but I know it does have it built in, so it should work. If this is done correctly, which it looks like it's correct. So we're gonna try and ddrescue this. 3, 2, 1. There we go. So it is running right now, as you guys can see. Copying non-tried blocks. It's gonna tell you, the speed, the error rate, and there are some errors, run time, remaining time. And you can just sit back and wait. Now, it will keep retrying like a certain amount of times. You can see we're already getting a lot of read errors because this drive is failing pretty bad. So let's hope that ddrescue can try and rescue as much data as possible. And if it does, then we'll be able to actually, restore this image to another disk. Now this is gonna take some time. I'm gonna let this run. I'll come back with like updates and stuff. Now, depending on how bad your drive is failing, there's no guarantee it's gonna be able to get everything, but we're gonna try. You guys can see the files appeared on the hard drive, which is right there. It's blinking as well, so it's saving to that drive. But we're getting read errors right off the bat, which isn't promising, and now it's saying it's gonna take 8 hours, 12 hours, what? Why is this gonna take so long? 23? Oh boy. Okay, that time might not be accurate, but it says time lasts since successful read 0 seconds, so it is reading it. And it did rescue 0.21% of data so far. And it even says the kilobytes that it's rescued. So yeah, we're probably gonna be here a while, so I will come back. Ain't no way this is gonna take 72 days. Yeah, I thought so. That's what I freaking thought. Just jumping all over the place. So you guys will not believe how long this has actually been running for. So this has been running for 3 days and 22 hours and 16 minutes, about to be 4 days. It's trying to recover the data. You can see that how long the passes took. The first one took like 12 hours. Second one here took like a day and a little over a day. And the last one's been going for the rest of the remainder of the time. And actually, no, I think it just goes up, meaning the other one didn't actually take a day. I think it took like another 12 hours. And then this one's going for a while. So basically, the reason this is taking so long is because it's actually going back to the blocks that it like failed to copy, and it's trying to copy them again. And you guys can see we're about there. We only have 249 megabytes. It rescued 249 megabytes. but we have 569,376 kilobytes, which is about like a little over, it's like over 500 megabytes. But you guys can see it hasn't had a read in 7 hours, because there was a time where it actually sat there for like 15 hours, but then it eventually started reading again. I was literally considering canceling it because I thought it was dead, but it continued again. So I'm just gonna let this go. I mean, it's a Celeron, so it's not like it's taking a lot of power. And, you know, I want to recover as much as possible, even though technically you could cancel it, but you just wouldn't have the rest of the data. But that was when it was at the 2 gig mark. So anyways, I'm gonna let this go and come back when, probably in another few days, when it finishes or gets stuck again. Well guys, you won't believe this. It finally finished after running for 10 days, 20 hours, and 31 minutes. So I think it's safe to say that, you know, this retried I see 3 times, and it couldn't obviously get some of the data. We only got 99.71 of the data. However, that's fine, because, you know, we don't need every bit of data as long as the recovery partition's still intact. But if I scroll up, you guys can see like all the history here of all the phases and how long it took to run them. Well, the runtime always went up each time, so you have to like subtract the previous one to get how long it took. But one of them took literally, see, it says 1 day and then went to 6 days. That took a while. And you guys could just look through this. It's just crazy how long this took. Like, I'm surprised. I expected this to take like a day maybe, not 10. But I mean, it worked in the end, and we got some of the data, well, most of it. I mean, I'm okay with not having all of it. There's bad sectors, so we couldn't obviously recover every bit of data, which was fine. But we recovered most of it, and it's finally done. I woke up this morning and saw it was done, but I didn't record yet, but now I'm recording. So now that this is done, I'm gonna close this, and I'm going to just shut it down, honestly, because we are honestly done here. So, log out, shut down. I'm just gonna shut it down. It should unmount everything when I shut it down. I'm doing this because, oh, it failed to unmount apparently. That's fine. Our work's done here with this laptop for now. We got the data, well, most of it anyway, not maybe all of it, but probably most of it. And I will try to grab another drive that's like the same size or similar and restore the actual file, and then see if we can maybe do a recovery on the drive that's actually good, and hope that none of the files are actually corrupted. But it's just amazing on how long that took. I am working on a few other projects right now because I pulled out some other computers. I've been trying to work on a lot of the computers in my collection to get operating systems and stuff on them. So once I finish these couple computers, I'll come back to this one and we will, you know, try to do the next thing. So even though this video is a bit delayed, I'm sorry, this took 10 days to do that, so there wasn't much I could do. Okay guys, so I'm finally back with the Toshiba laptop, in which I'm actually going to finally restore the backup. It's been at least like a week. I've been kind of busy, but as you guys can see, I did LSBLK to find that SDA is the new drive I put in, which is a 320 gig. I actually found out the old one was a 250, so I was wrong, but it's okay. There's just going to be some blank space, but it won't hurt anything. SDB is my hard drive that I plugged in right here. And then SDC is my USB that I have plugged in, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah. Anywho, actually no, it might not be, I'm not sure. Actually it has to be because it's what it's booted on. But anyways, I mounted my hard drive, and then I did this command, which is dd-if/lnt/hdd/toshiba-backup.img, which is where it's located, of/dev/sda, which is the drive I want to restore to. And then I have the command for progress, I had to look this up because I needed to see how to use DD since I've never used it. But it's basically taking our input file, which is IF, and then of is output file. So it's basically like you give it an input and an output, and that's how DD works. So I'm telling it to restore this to SDA. And SDA is already wiped, so without further ado, let's do it. So it is loading. I hear the hard drive spinning because it has to copy the files. And you guys will see it is going. So there's our image. That's what it's currently restoring to SDA. So it may take a bit of time, but it should go a lot quicker than the ddrescue because I'm not rescuing anything, I'm restoring it. So also some information to let you guys know, that other drive that I had in the computer that was failing, I actually tried to boot it and it gave me a no bootable devices found error or something along those lines. I'll put up a screenshot, but the drive completely died. So from doing the ddrescue on it, it actually just killed the drive entirely, which I'm not surprised. It was failing and the ddrescue was running for like over a week, so it was, you know, really working hard, and it just killed the drive, which, I mean, oh well. And I plugged it in my computer and the enclosure was blinking, but it wasn't mounting. I didn't see the drive show up at all in Explorer or in Crystal Disk Info or Disk Management. It just didn't exist. I don't know if it was clicking or not. I didn't listen closely, but later I will show the drive and show you guys. But anyways, I'm gonna let this restore and I'll be back later. So guys, this finished like a while ago and I completely forgot about this, but I'd say it took probably a couple hours to run this. So it has copied everything back. So at this point, we can find out if it worked, which by the way, if I could probably run another LSBLK, and you guys will see SDA does have all the partitions, including the recovery partition, which is SDA 3. So I doubt that this will actually boot into anything at all, but we can find out. We need to obviously shut it down, log off, shut down, and unplug everything that we have plugged into it. As to if this will actually, you know, boot, I doubt it. Like, I highly doubt that it's gonna boot. It's probably just gonna, like, you know, go to recovery. This is still on, but like, never mind, it just powered down. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm genuinely curious to see what it'll do. Imagine ddrescue recovered stuff to actually make it boot, although I highly doubt it. It's probably just gonna go to recovery again. Huh, okay. It's gonna go to recovery. If this actually boots, I'd be surprised, but yep. Okay. Yeah, I knew it would go to recovery. But this is a good drive. I wonder if it'll like take as long to boot into it like the other drive did. Like, I wonder if it's just gonna sit there or if it's just gonna be instantaneous this time. So we got our cursor. Now, obviously the reason it's not booting is because files are corrupt. The sector probably that had important system files on it. Oh wow, it's actually doing a startup repair. Repairing disk errors. This may take an hour or more. Oh boy. So now it's doing a check disk on this drive. The one we just put in it, which we know is good. Which doesn't surprise me because it's corrupt, and we did, you know, just do a ddrescue and restore that image on this drive. So I'm not surprised that it's doing this. As the OS goes, it's definitely bricked and it's definitely not going to boot anymore. Like, that's probably for certain. So we probably will most likely have to run the recovery. but the fact that it actually sees the drive, it's actually doing the startup repairs before it would boot into it, and it would just not detect the OS, it would not detect the drive, it will just sit there and do nothing. But now it's actually doing something different, proves that that hard drive was absolutely bad. Well, so we obviously knew that. So I'm gonna let it do this. I don't know how long it's gonna take. It says this might take an hour or more, but I highly doubt that. We will be back. So guys, it's been doing this for almost a day now. I don't think it's doing anything. I think I hear activity, if you guys can hear it. But at this point, I don't care. So I'm going to try something, because clearly it was stuck and I don't have time to wait for that. So I'm just forcing it off and back on. Hopefully this drive didn't fail too, because that will not be good if this drive failed. Okay, good, it did not. Let's launch startup repair, but immediately cancel it so we can go back to the recovery options, because I want to try to do like a system recovery. So let's immediately cancel it so it doesn't like do crap. If it even lets us cancel it. If not, then that's a problem, because I don't want to do a startup repair. Okay, get out. Yes. Cancel. It froze when I canceled it. It's behaving very erratically. Anyways, you guys will see it says it couldn't repair. If we view the details and we scroll through, it does see the Windows install and everything. And it says system volume on disk is corrupt. That's wonderful. Let's view the advanced. Yep, this is exactly what we want now. It looks like there's a user on here and I don't know the password, but we'll just click OK and it accepts me anyway. Okay. So it does see the drive. That is very good. I'm actually curious if I go to a command prompt, which that's an interesting directory right there. If I go to like a notepad, am I able? Oh yeah, there's definitely data on here. There is an install on here. And if I scroll through and I change this to like all files and I scroll through, let's find like Explore, has a date of 2016. But that can give us a little bit of an idea when this was last used, 2016, 2017. I don't care about any of this data though. So, Toshiba Recovery Wizard it is. I am going to do the Toshiba Recovery Wizard. This is what we restored the image for anyway. So obviously all data will be overwritten. Yes. Restore factory default software. And we are going to recover to out of box state. I'm talking loud because there's background noise. And yes, it's going to delete everything. Are I sure? Yes, I am sure. And there we have it, guys. We are actually doing the long-awaited recovery that I've been wanting to do on this computer, which I'm almost certain that the drive that was in here did come from the machine. I don't know for sure, but I feel like it did. The fact it's actually letting me restore it, and this drive that I had, which obviously I put it on another drive, but it came from a Toshiba. So I'm hoping it's this Toshiba, but we are going to find out very quickly, well, if this restores. So I'm just gonna let this do its thing and hope to God that it's actually not corrupted. So I will come back. Bit of unfortunate news, guys. It did not work, and this happened earlier, but I just chose not to deal with it. It failed to restore. It gave us an error. I tried looking it up and I'm not finding much on it. I do have another idea. Okay, it did bring me back here. I'm gonna try to hold the 0 key, because I heard if you hold the 0 key it'll go to recovery. 0. Shut up. Oh. That's not good. MGR is missing. Did the recovery just whack out the machine? Or is it because I held 0 that it did that? Please don't. Oh, great. Well, isn't that wonderful, guys? It just whacked out the entire machine trying to do a recovery. Well, shoot. I'm gonna try to figure this out. Well, guys, I'm back to square one. I am applying the image again because the Toshiba recovery just completely screwed it up, and I'm not even surprised. But I do have an idea after this. I'm gonna make a macron backup of this because it would be much quicker to restore, as it won't have to restore every single gigabyte, and it would be much quicker. So that way if I screw up again, I could, you know, potentially do that. However, I'm not sure how that would handle the recovery because I did hear that macron might break recoveries, but I can experiment with it and at least make a backup of it because I might be able to also like expand the unallocated space too, potentially. So I don't know if I'll do that or not or what I'm doing. I'm just restoring this again because honestly, I think the first thing I should do after I restore this, make another backup in my computer on macron of the disk in its current state, and then put it back in here and then attempt the recovery immediately, maybe by holding 0 this time, instead of letting Windows try to boot, because maybe when it did that check disk, when it said repairing disk errors, it screwed it up. So I'm not gonna let it do that, and I'm just gonna immediately hold 0 and try to get it to restore immediately. If that still fails, I feel like it's corrupt, but I could try messing with the partitions and stuff, which is why I said I might make another backup, because then when I go to restore it, I can, you know, choose the layout of the partitions to make it at least fit nicely, and maybe that will make some kind of difference. But I'm really just playing around with it at this point to at least get it to work and get it to restore, but this is gonna take another couple hours. It's late, I'm gonna go to bed. By the time I wake up, this will be done, and I will try and do that. Alright, so I'm back with the Toshiba again, which honestly, I don't even know how long this video is at this point. I've just decided I'm not even gonna bother with the freaking macron image because it might honestly break the recovery anyway. I'm just gonna straight up try to hold 0. I want it to go straight to the recovery. I don't even... Okay, you can stop. Maybe I shouldn't have held 0, but I kind of had to. Okay, I don't know. I don't want to do that. Let me turn it back off. Might try it again. So what happens if we, where is it? Repair your computer. What if we just go to it ourselves, but not let it do a startup repair? Because I honestly think when Windows did that startup repair, it actually like messed up something because it was repairing disk errors, and I think it messed something up. So I want to avoid it doing that, because if it does the startup repair, it's just going to mess everything up, and I don't want it to mess everything up. So let's just restore it straight away. I think that's a good option. Because if we restore it straight away, then we don't have to worry about it being stupid. Now, before I do that, I'm going to check a couple things. So our drive is there, as you guys can see. Those are our drives, and it's not formatted anymore because we obviously, you know, did everything. If we go to disk part, which I'll do, there's our partitions. Our recovery is definitely the 9 gig. I'm just hoping that Toshiba recovery does not fail us. I'm kind of scared to do it because if this fails again, it's going to wipe the drive and it's going to be in the exact same state it was before, and I'm going to have to like start over again and try something else. I just don't really want to do the macron thing because that's going to take a while, and there's actually data on here, so it's going to actually take up a bit of space too if I actually do the macron thing. But I do have another idea, and I don't know, I might continue this video, I might not, but let's just do recovery of factory default. Let's recover to out of box state, or should I recover without changing the partitions this time? Because that way, I think I'm gonna try that, because I don't want it to screw with the partitions. I'm gonna try something a bit different. I do not want it to mess with the partitions. I'm gonna tell it to recover without messing with the partitions. I'm doing that because I personally feel like that because the resizing I did on this drive, I think it messed something up. So I don't want it to mess with that partition. I don't want it to redo with partitions. That might actually be a lot of the reason why it did this in the first place. Because there was a lot of unallocated space. So let's not mess with the partitions this time. And if this gives us an error again, I think the recovery is honestly corrupt. It's sad, but I really think that this isn't gonna work. It's probably gonna throw the same error again, if I'm gonna be honest. I don't think this is gonna work. This was a waste, and this took forever to try to do. It's kind of sad because I wanted this to work, but I wish it wasn't corrupt. Why does it have to be corrupt? I swear, I don't even have hope for this at all. I literally don't have hope for this. It's just gonna error again. That's all it's gonna do. So it'll probably, I don't even know what the error code was last time, but it's probably gonna be the same error if I had to guess. And then it's gonna say boot manager missing again, and then we're gonna be back to freaking square one, trying to get this to work. But it seems like the 0 key just doesn't work at all. Like, you can't even press 0. It just doesn't freaking do anything when you press 0. I might honestly leave this video at a point, if this doesn't work, I might just leave this video at a point of, I'm gonna go edit, see what I have, and figure out what I'm gonna do next. If I'm gonna continue this, if I'm gonna not, if I'm gonna even bother with the freaking OEM install, if it's gonna do crap like this. Like, seriously? Maybe I can get the OS booting. I don't freaking know. Like, anything you guys want me to try, let me know, because I might keep this image around and try it later. But part of me also is like, I want to get an OS on this computer. I don't want to leave it without an operating system. Like, I want to have it have something on it. Why must you be difficult? Yeah, it's gonna fail. It hasn't even done anything yet. It's just gonna bail. I think it's gonna bail like before. It's gonna bail. Please don't bail though. I really don't want you to bail. Yep, it bailed, of course. As you guys could see, an error has occurred. Very freaking helpful. I bet that's the same error code. I'll look in the video, but this is probably the same freaking crap as before. I don't even remember what the error was, but that's probably the same one. So if I click OK, what happens if I go back? Can I do it again? I can't. Uh-oh. I think it wiped it again. I can't click on it. Are you kidding me? Let's see. Can I do this? Oh, I can. Okay. I bet you the drive's... Bro, it's a different error now. What? That is a different error code. I can tell you that now. F3FF000021. An error code. Of course. Why? It probably wiped the freaking recovery partition. Not save, but it doesn't matter. Yep. Wait, the recovery is here. Maybe there's a log. Give me a moment, guys. There might be a log. This might be a good thing. There might be a log file. So the recovery partition is mounted. Fonts. I don't want that. There's something in there. Oh yeah, I gotta change this to all files. So if I go back, there are things in there. Images, there's nothing in there. That might have gotten corrupt. If we open this configuration file, this is the configuration. Which, by the way, I find this kind of interesting. Let's go back. The images are here, but they're not showing. Oh, because I need to... Maybe there's a way I can restore SWM. If you guys have any idea how I could potentially go forward with this project, because I might just upload this video as a failed attempt and then ask you guys now, what do you guys think? Do you guys have a way I can maybe restore these SWM files? Do you guys have any way I could potentially get this to work and actually restore? Because honestly, I feel like I could if I really tried. I think the recovery is just broken. I don't know if there's log files though. There is a boot here. There are other things here. I could, you know, maybe get this working in some way. I just don't know how. So, what's in bin? Oh, this might actually be what we need. The logs might be in here. I really want the log file. I just don't know if it makes a log file. But yeah, I'm showing you guys the contents of this because it might be helpful in trying to solve this problem that I'm having. Because honestly, something is just really screwed up here. What's in this x64 folder? Oh, it's just the x64 contents. At least I'm still booted in the OS. If I reboot, it's literally going into, say, boot manager missing again. I know that for a fact. I wonder if it's because I didn't restore on the original drive, or if it's just the fact that this could be corrupted too. I don't know what a v whatever file that is. Data. I might look up the error code as well. That error code right there. So guys, I've done a lot lately and I've actually came to the conclusion to try to apply the files manually to the machine. So I will give you guys a bit of context and put some screenshots. So I actually found where the images are, although I think you guys already saw that in the video, the last video. I decided to back those up to this hard drive, which is a good thing I did because I couldn't actually mount the recovery partition in a Windows PE environment. It just wouldn't let me, and I'll put up screenshots, but it was like basically saying, oh, there's no volume selected, because for whatever reason, it was showing up as a partition, but not a volume. I don't know how that happened. Maybe it's like so hidden that it's a hidden volume, so it just doesn't show up there, which is weird because the recovery is technically hidden, but it shows up and it even says it's hidden. So I don't really know. It's very strange, but it's a good thing I copied the images to the hard drive because after that I booted into the Windows PE, which I already, you know, tried to mount it in the PE, but I copied the folder to the root of the drive that's in the computer, and then I used DISM commands to actually tell it to apply these SWM files, and here's the results. As you guys can see, we have applied them, and I did this command, DISM/apply image/image file / the ZZ images folder, and then pre-inst.swm, and then I actually had to tell it the file and put a asterisk there so it knew there was more than one, because before when I didn't do that, it gave me an error because I think it didn't know where the other files were. So yeah, it didn't know where they were. So because of that, it failed, and I looked into it and Microsoft documentation said to do this. So without further ado, we're gonna actually see if this works. I think I do have to BCD boot it though. Boot files successfully. Hopefully it actually works though. Hopefully it actually copied to the right thing. Yeah, it's all here. Hopefully this will boot. Also, this video might get delayed a bit because my phone right now that I'm recording on will not let me use the touchscreen properly, and I can't restart it, but I'm able to somehow record videos and the battery's not even dead. So, oh, I can't focus it either because I can't really use the touch screen. I kind of can, but my phone's screwing up right now, and that's kind of a problem because I kind of need it to work, but I can't do anything because when I try to force reboot it, it tries to call emergency services, and I don't want to do that. And it's like, really? Can I just freaking restart the freaking phone? Like, come on, man. So until this phone dies, I cannot use it. I can only record stuff, but I can't use it, which is really annoying. So I hope the battery dies soon. It'll continue after restarting. So it's actually making some good progress. I'm actually really happy about this outcome, that applying the image file manually seems to have worked. I don't know what state it's gonna be in though. I don't know what it's gonna do, but this is as close as we're gonna get. So, setup is preparing your computer for first use. Wonderful. And we'll find out if this image actually belonged to this or not, if it'll actually have the drivers or not. I suspect it did come from this computer, or at least a very similar model if it even let me try to restore it. Because I got the warning screen and everything. Oh yeah, I got a mouse cursor. Yeah, that's not even looking OEM at all. Like, the wallpaper normally would have like a Toshiba background, but it just has the normal Windows 7 background. And why is it just logging in? Is it gonna do like its Toshiba configuration screen or whatever the hell it is? Oh, yep, it's in sysprep. It's in sysprep. Oh, yep, I knew it. I knew it was gonna do this. In fact, I probably should have gotten my tripod so I can actually like record this whole process. I want this freaking phone to die. Alright guys, so we are back, and it actually worked. We have the Toshiba wallpaper and everything, so let's go through this. I'm actually going to keep this on this computer, so put my name and then the asset tag, JHL027. We're not going to do password on this right now. We're going to accept everything so we can get through this. I'll have to probably fix updates, so I'll do ask later. Windows is finalizing your settings. This recording's been going for 40 minutes, which I'm gonna try to restart my phone again after this because apparently I was doing it wrong when I looked into it, so I'm gonna try to restart my phone again. Hopefully I can actually get in it. I need to get this video off of it. Oh, this is definitely the OEM install. I am so glad I actually got those recovery images. That now means I can completely forego the image, and anytime I just want to restore, I just have the SWM files. That's actually really cool. So you don't even need the OEM partitions or anything. I probably will make an image of this drive though. Meaning I'm not going to make this video be doing all the updates, getting the computer set up, or any of that stuff. We will look through the OEM obviously, but I'm not going to do all of that right now because I do want to do a couple other things such as making a backup of this in its current state and stuff like that. However, I will say that we did at least get a successful recovery, and I probably could make recovery discs, which I actually plan. I'm going to buy some DVDs. I'm going to make some discs as well. I might actually wait and just pause this project right now. I don't know. But really, I accomplished what I wanted, which was to get the OEM image back on this machine. So it wasn't actually corrupt. It's probably the disk was corrupt in some way, or maybe some of the files that the environment used was potentially corrupt and it was just causing it to not work. But we did get it in the end, and I'm actually really happy about that because I didn't expect this to work. I just tried it and sure enough it worked. So yay, let's go. I accomplished everything I wanted to do. And I know this video is probably very long. Who knows how much bloatware this install is gonna have. I'm sure it's gonna have a lot. Oh, wow, that's actually a really clean desktop. It's just the recycle bin. Really old chrome. Oh yeah, it's got the Toshiba logo. What is on here? It's actually not that bad. Let's go to the programs list, and then we're gonna also check a couple other things too. But I'm very curious about this. And my zooming is working. Maybe my screen fixed itself. Okay. Let's go. So, Adobe Flash Player 10, old Chrome, Google Toolbar, we got Office 2010, all this stuff, old Java, Visual Runtimes, Norton, which obviously has to go. Yeah, we do have the Toshiba Disk Creator, so I'm pretty sure that's to create the DVD media, unless it's something else. I thought it was called, it's Recovery Media Creator, which is right here. So I can create recovery media. I scroll through the list, and I'll be honest, the bloat isn't even that bad. It's actually not, it's actually like reasonable. Like Norton is bad, but like I've seen much worse. And this only has 43 programs installed. On my DV6, it had like double that. So I would say this is actually like pretty accurate. I'll zoom this out. Maybe my touchscreen finally fixed itself. I might not have to restart. What is that? The auto check feature, the Toshiba service station is expired. Okay, that's okay. Oh, the install date should be correct too, because I did fix the time and date. So, anywho, let's go to the system properties. This is what's important. So yes, it does say it's a Toshiba C655. We have our rating at a 3.2. We got our Celeron 900, 3 gigs of RAM. And I noticed it's 7 home premium, and it doesn't even have SP1. Wow, I actually expected this to have SP1 because every Toshiba OEM I had has had SP1 installed. This one does not. So this is an older one, although I did see dates of 2010, so I probably should have expected that. If we go to like device manager, let's see if we actually have all our drivers, which we do. So yeah, chances are this really is the OEM. We even have a graphics driver. Unless Windows 7 just happens to have a lot of the drivers, which could also be the case. But this is the OEM. Let's see what version of Google Chrome we have. Also, ignore the background noise. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. Let's accept and run. And this is a really old Chrome version. Yeah, sure, keep it the default, even though this is like a really old version of Chrome. Oh, we can't even go to the help page. How do you even go to like, about Google Chrome? There we go. Google Chrome 5.0. Okay, yeah, that's really old. I wonder if this would actually update if I connected the internet. It might, but I kind of doubt it. Well, I don't know what to say other than I'm surprised that worked. So let's go to disk management. Did it do anything with our partitions? Well, obviously no, probably not. We still have the unallocated. We do still have the recovery. I do want to try the media creator. So I'm actually going to get some disks and try that. Maybe I'll make a future video on this computer messing with it more. But I've accomplished what I wanted to do in this video. So this is going to be a good stopping point for this video. I would like to say thanks for watching. I really enjoyed making this video and trying to get this to work. I didn't expect to get the OEM in the end, and I did, so I'm honestly surprised. But yeah, so anyways, yeah, that'll do it for this video. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching. I really enjoyed making this, and it was a whole lot of fun. So I would like to also thank my channel members, which are Samir Yoshizawa, Dylan Veet, The Full Moon Archive, Christian1739, Overgreen, StrawTech8, Zyvlogs, DJ1I28, Dencorn, Cyclone, Krisk, Ritu, The Blue Guy, Glob, Star, along with everyone else on this list here. You guys are awesome, and it allows me to create these amazing videos that I honestly have fun doing. Once again, though, sorry for the delays. I've just had a lot going on, and this video took me weeks. So, anyways, thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. Anyways, guys, yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys have a great day. Sorry for the delay of video uploads. I've had a lot going on, and this has been a several week project because of the ddrescue taking so long, and me also working on some other computers and recording other videos, except I want to get this video out first. I did get a couple others, but my next goal is to start working on this. So, yeah. Hopefully you guys enjoy this. I'll have more uploads coming soon. Just a little bit of a delay this month, but, you know, it happens. Anyways, thanks for watching. Bye-bye for now.